started. This is a very important topic. I will never forget a few years ago, I was coming out from a Walmart, and a lot of times I will go and shop at late hours because I want to do off hours. I don't like a whole lot of, folks, the whole crowd. And so it was about almost 11 o'clock at night, and it was a woman who was in a car with two young kids. And as I was walking towards her in the parking lot to go to my car, her voice level started going higher and higher and higher. And as I got closer to her car, I can hear her speaking on the phone, at the top of her lungs, saying, "When are you going to get these kids? When are you going to spend some time with these kids?" And the kids were upset, and she was upset. And I remember thinking to myself, if there's a way that we can help single moms to be able to have a healthy way for their kids to deal with the fact that maybe dad is not as involved as if your kids need him to be, or sometimes when dads just kind of check out and disappear, and they don't have the kids don't have meaningful contact with their dad. This is the reason why that we are offering this class. We want to make sure that we can do it online and offer it in a virtual way in a webinar so that we can reach as many single moms and make it as affordable for as many single moms as we possibly can, because there's only two of us, right? Yes. And so also we want to make sure that we can have the tape version, so that way, folks later on, if you don't have the opportunity to join us live, be able to take advantage of watching the tape version of it. So, okay, so for you, those of you who don't know me, I am also a licensed attorney. I'm a life coach, but I'm also a licensed attorney. And so I've often had people come to ask me, is there a legal way that I can, what can I do to help my ex or get my ex more involved? Is there something that the legal system can do? And sometimes it goes kind of both ways. Sometimes it is, is there a way that, if he's not going to really be actively involved, or he's going to kind of pop in and out the way he wants to, is there a way to kind of stop him from doing that? Or the flip side of that is there a way for, the legal system to make him be more, make him adhere to or follow the visitation orders that are already in place? And that is a difficult question because, most often the legal system is woefully prepared to deal with these kind of difficult, multi-layered questions. And so, I, would always tell them, okay, obviously everything is very fact-specific, fact-driven. It really depends on what your circumstances are, but kind of generally, if you have a situation whereas, dad is inconsistent, he's around, but, we have one young lady who gives a testimony on my website that says, she had an issue where, sometimes dad was supposed to pick up their child, their son, the first, third, and fifth Friday of the month. And, he's supposed to pick him up at 6 o'clock on Friday. Very simple. Sometimes he'd show up at 7 o'clock. Sometimes, he'd show up Saturday morning. A lot of times, she would have to, call him and hunt him down and say, "Are you coming tonight? What's going on? You haven't communicated with me." She's just very frustrated because the bottom line is, if she can't plan for her personal life because she doesn't know whether he's coming or not. And she just felt like, I'm always having to hunt you down. This is just no way to live, essentially. And so, she's just very frustrated. It really affected her quality of life. And she's like, is there something that I can do? Is there something that I can just kind of, maybe just stop him for having visitation? Or maybe I can just have to say so, when we have visitation, I don't really have to adhere to it. It could just be, once every few months or whatever it was that was more convenient so she could plan for her life. And so we found a out-of-court solution that I kind of talk about on my website, but, not to go into that too much, but, there are some things that the court can do if you are having a big quality of life issue like that. You really have to kind of show over a period of months. I usually say, usually a good 6 months is usually a good standard to kind of look at to see, okay, this is happening consistently over the past 6 months, and maybe the court can go in and change visitation, whereas it's less frequent, so that way you can plan. Maybe it's once a month, or hopefully it's more than that, because kids need contact with their parents. They're as Robin can certainly say that kids are the natural, your parents are the natural object of the kids' affection, and so they want to spend time with both, and they love you both. And so, that's one thing that they really would like to do. So there are certain things that you can do, but you have to show that, there is a consistent pattern over a prolonged period of time, at least I would say at least 6 months, if you're going to do that, if it really is affecting your quality of life. The opposite side of that is when dads have long absences. And I actually had this happen in a situation where, this was a person who was very close to my family. And, she was married and had 2 kids, and then, got a divorce, and shortly thereafter, dad was in the military for a short period of time and then just kind of disappeared. Then he left the military. And, if you're in the military, it's really easy to find you, but once you leave, it's difficult. So she knew the extended family members, but none of them was giving any information about where the dad was. And so, she was very frustrated, and, and all of a sudden, 10 years later, he shows up.
Wow.
And he showed up, unfortunately, because he was sick, and wanted to reconnect with the kids. And, he was able to do that, but, she wanted to make sure that since the kids really didn't know him, because he left, they were very small, they really didn't have any memory of him pretty much at all. And so she said, is there kind of a way to kind of integrate, she didn't really think he was dangerous, that he was kind of a jerk for doing that, but, she didn't think that he would harm the kids if he saw them. And so is there, she wanted to know, is there a way to kind of ease the kids into visiting with him? And there is a free handout in your membership area. When you created a membership when you signed up for this class, and there's a free handout that gives you a stair-step visitation language, sample language that you could use, a suggested language. Obviously, you have to tailor everything to your specific circumstance, but it is a Word document, so you can edit it, and that's a way that you could ask the court, if he had regular visitation before and you kind of forgot about it because he disappeared. Now he's all of a sudden wanting, hey, I want regular visitation. You're like, no, that's not in your, I don't believe that's in my kid's best interest. There is a stair-step way that you can kind of ease your kids back into a regular visitation schedule. And also for him to show that he's serious about getting back into the kids, your child's life. And so, take advantage of that. There's also another free handout that has also kind of standard language that you could use if you're not really kind of satisfied, or if you want to kind of take a look to see, what else you can kind of integrate with what you already have, if you already have orders in place. That is really something that you can do. And so I hope that you find that helpful. So we are going to say farewell to our Facebook friends. Obviously your friends here who are online with our class are in our regular room. We're going to be staying with you, but we're going to say thank you so much, Facebook friends, and we will see you soon. This is just an excerpt from our live class. We're live tonight, and so we will have the tape version up by November 7th. So if you want to take advantage of that, you will see more information on my Facebook page. So thank you, Facebook. We'll see you soon.